Anna Carter had not been back to Ravenswood for more than 10 years. The village, once a place of childhood memories and comfort, now seemed distant and shadowed by years of silence. The sudden death of her father, Thomas Carter, a respected historian, had pulled her back against her will. Leaving behind the busy streets of London, she found herself driving through the winding country roads, her son Oliver beside her in the passenger seat. The old family home rose up before them, its windows like dark eyes watching the approaching visitors. The stone walls were covered in ivy, and the garden, once carefully tended by her father, was overgrown with weeds. Anna felt a pang of guilt. She had left this place so long ago, abandoning it and everything it stood for. Stepping inside, the air was heavy with dust and the faint scent of aged wood. The silence was profound, broken only by the soft creak of the floorboards beneath their feet. Oliver held her hand tightly, his small fingers trembling slightly. Anna forced herself to breathe steadily, though a cold shiver ran down her spine. The house seemed to whisper. Whispers of the past, of secrets long hidden behind locked doors and forgotten diaries. Anna's heart pounded as she noticed a pile of old letters tied with a faded ribbon on the hallway table. The handwriting was unmistakably her father's. That night, as a storm raged outside, Anna sat by the flickering fireplace, reading through the letters. Each word seemed to pull her deeper into a mystery she never expected. Thomas Carter had been researching something that might explain the strange behavior she had witnessed in her childhood. Shadows in the corners of rooms, voices heard in empty halls, a presence that seemed to linger even after he was gone. Oliver watched her from the armchair, clutching a small wooden toy his grandfather had carved. "Mom, do you think Dad is still here?" he whispered. Anna looked at him, her eyes reflecting the flickering flames. "I don't know, Oliver. But I think we're going to find out." The morning after the storm, Anna decided to explore the house more thoroughly. The daylight revealed the peeling wallpaper, creaking floorboards, and layers of dust that spoke of years left untouched. Oliver wandered nearby, curious yet cautious. Anna's steps led her to the narrow staircase at the end of the hallway, which she barely remembered from her childhood. It creaked ominously as she climbed into the attic. The room was filled with forgotten belongings. Old trunks, faded photographs, and books stacked high on wooden shelves. Among the clutter, Anna found a leather-bound journal. The name, Thomas Carter, was embossed on the cover. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Inside, detailed notes and sketches mapped out a secret research project, something her father had never shared with anyone. The journal spoke of an ancient family legend connected to Ravenswood itself. A tale of hidden chambers beneath the village and a mysterious artifact said to hold great power. The deeper Anna read, the more she felt the weight of her father's obsession. She realized that his death might not have been as natural as everyone believed. Suddenly, Oliver called from the corner of the attic, pointing at a faded portrait. It was a family picture, but there was something strange about the faces in the background. Shadowy shapes that seemed to move when she blinked. Anna's heart pounded. The secrets of Ravenswood were beginning to unravel, and she was at the center of it all. The days that followed Thomas Carter's funeral felt unreal to Anna. She was caught between grief and a gnawing unease that she could not shake. Ravenswood was no longer the quiet village she remembered. There was something strange in the air, something heavy and watchful. Oliver was restless. He often stared at corners of rooms, whispering about shadows that moved when no one else was looking. At night, he refused to sleep alone, clutching his wooden toy tightly. Anna tried to reassure him, but the old house seemed to thrum with a silent energy. One evening, as dusk fell and the last light slipped from the sky, Anna sat in the sitting room, reading her father's journal again. The pages spoke of a hidden chamber beneath the village church. According to the journal, this chamber held the key to the Carter family's history, and the source of the strange occurrences in Ravenswood. A sudden noise startled her, a soft tapping at the window. She looked up and saw a flicker of movement in the garden. Steeling herself, Anna walked outside. The garden was empty, save for the swaying branches and the creeping fog. Returning indoors, she found Oliver standing by the staircase, his face pale. "Mom," he whispered, "I saw him again." "Who, Oliver?" Anna asked, heart pounding. "The man in the shadows. He's trying to tell me something." Anna felt a chill. She wasn't sure whether to be frightened or curious. That night, as she lay in bed, she heard faint whispers carried by the wind, words she couldn't understand but felt deeply in her bones. The house was alive. The next morning, Anna went to the village church. It was an old stone building with thick ivy crawling up its walls. She met the vicar, Reverend Matthews, a kind but reserved man who seemed to know more than he let on. "I understand your father was interested in the church's history," Reverend Matthews said quietly. "There are stories, legends even, about what lies beneath these stones. But some things are better left buried." Anna's resolve hardened. She would find the truth, no matter the cost. With Oliver by her side, she was ready to uncover the secrets of Ravenswood, secrets that had haunted her family for generations. Anna and Oliver returned to the village church the following day. The morning mist still clung to the ancient stone as they approached the heavy wooden doors. Inside, the air was cool and smelled faintly of old candles and polished wood. Reverend Matthews met them near the altar. "I see you are determined," he said with a hint of sadness in his voice. "Very well, but be careful. The past has a way of reaching into the present." He led them to the side of the church where a worn stone slab marked the entrance to a small crypt. Anna's heart quickened as she knelt beside it. With some effort, she and Oliver managed to move the heavy stone aside, revealing a narrow staircase descending into darkness. Oliver gripped her hand tightly as they stepped down. The air grew colder, and the walls seemed to close in around them. At the bottom, they found a small chamber dimly lit by flickering torches mounted on the walls. The room was lined with ancient symbols and inscriptions carved deep into the stone. At its center stood a pedestal holding a curious object wrapped in cloth. Anna reached out and carefully unwrapped it. It was a small ornate box made of dark wood and silver. Intricate patterns covered its surface, and it pulsed faintly as if alive. Anna felt a strange connection to it, a tug at something deep inside her. Suddenly, a whisper filled the chamber, soft and urgent. Oliver gasped. Shadows flickered at the edges of the torchlight. Anna's breath caught as a figure seemed to materialize before them, a faint, shimmering form resembling her father. "Find the truth," the apparition whispered before fading into the darkness. Anna squeezed Oliver's hand. The journey ahead was more dangerous than she had imagined, but now there was no turning back. Back in the daylight, Anna and Oliver sat in the quiet village cafe, the ornate box resting carefully on the table between them. Anna's mind raced, trying to piece together the meaning behind the cryptic journal, the apparition, and the strange object. "Do you think this is what your father was searching for?" Oliver asked, eyes wide with a mix of fear and curiosity. Anna nodded slowly. "It has to be. But what exactly it is, and how it connects to Ravenswood's secrets, that's still unclear." She carefully examined the box again, noting that the carvings resembled the symbols in the crypt. After a moment, she found a small latch and opened the lid. Inside lay a bundle of aged parchment tied with a faded red ribbon. Unfolding the papers revealed a map of Ravenswood, but not the village as she knew it. This map included hidden tunnels, forgotten landmarks, and strange markings she couldn't decipher. One symbol appeared repeatedly, a crescent moon intertwined with a rose. It was a family crest she vaguely remembered seeing in her father's study. Determined to understand more, Anna arranged to meet with Eleanor, an elderly historian who lived on the edge of the village. Eleanor had known her father well and was said to hold knowledge of the village's past that few others did. That evening, Anna and Oliver found themselves sitting in Eleanor's dimly lit sitting room. Eleanor's eyes twinkled with recognition when Anna showed her the journal and the map. "This," Eleanor whispered, "is the legacy of the Carters. It said your family was the guardian of something powerful, something that could protect or destroy." As the fire crackled, Eleanor shared stories passed down through generations. Tales of old magic, betrayal, and a hidden artifact buried deep beneath Ravenswood. Anna listened, feeling the weight of her ancestors' choices and the responsibility now resting on her shoulders. Suddenly, the lights flickered, and a chill swept through the room. Eleanor's face grew serious. "You must be careful. Others know about this too, and they won't hesitate to claim the power for themselves." The following days were tense. Anna could feel the weight of unseen eyes watching her every move. Ravenswood had changed, or perhaps she had. The quiet village now seemed like a stage where old rivalries and hidden agendas played out in the shadows. One morning, a letter arrived at the cottage, sealed with an unfamiliar crest, a black raven clutching a silver key. The handwriting was elegant but cold. "Stop your search, Anna Carter. Some truths are meant to stay buried. For your own good, leave Ravenswood before it is too late." Oliver looked up at her with wide eyes. Who would send such a letter? Anna folded the note slowly, feeling the chill of the warning. Someone who wants to keep the past hidden, she said quietly. That evening, as darkness fell, Oliver refused to go to bed. Mom, the man in the shadows is back. He says danger is coming. Anna did not dismiss his fears. Instead, she kept a vigil by the window, watching the fog roll in thick waves across the fields. At midnight, a faint tapping at the window startled her. Outside stood a tall figure cloaked in black, face obscured by a hood. Who are you? Anna demanded, her voice steady despite the fear tightening her chest. The figure did not answer. Instead, it pressed a small silver key into her palm and vanished into the night. Anna stared at the key, its surface cold and heavy. This was no longer just a mystery of history. It was a threat and a challenge. She looked at Oliver, his eyes reflecting the flicker of candlelight. Together, they were about to dive deeper into Ravenswood's darkest secrets, where shadows moved and nothing was as it seemed. The next morning, Anna examined the silver key closely. It was finely crafted, cold to the touch, and bore the same crescent moon and rose symbol from the map in the box. This key was undoubtedly linked to the secret her father had been protecting. Determined to follow the trail, Anna and Oliver headed back to the village church. The air was crisp with the scent of rain, and the sky was a dull gray as they approached the heavy wooden doors once more. Inside, the Reverend greeted them with a knowing look. I see the past is calling you deeper, Anna, he said quietly. The key you hold opens a door not many have dared to cross. He led them past the altar to a hidden door beneath a tapestry. Anna inserted the silver key into the lock, and with a soft click, the door creaked open to reveal a narrow passageway. Torches flickered along the damp stone walls as they descended, the sound of their footsteps echoing through the darkness. At the passage's end, they found a heavy iron door covered with the same intricate symbols. Anna pushed it open, revealing a small chamber filled with ancient artifacts, dusty tomes, weathered scrolls, and relics that glowed faintly in the low light. In the center stood a pedestal with a leather-bound book. Anna opened it carefully, the pages yellowed with age but filled with her father's neat handwriting. The book detailed the history of the Carter family, their role as guardians of an ancient power hidden beneath Ravenswood. It spoke of sacrifices made to protect the village from those who sought to exploit it. Suddenly, the room grew colder. A shadow moved at the edge of the torchlight, and Anna's heart raced. They were not alone. The shadow at the edge of the torchlight moved closer, revealing a familiar face. Marcus Blake, a distant relative of the Carters known for his ruthless ambition. His cold eyes locked onto Anna and Oliver. You've come far, but this ends now, Marcus said, voice low and threatening. The power beneath Eldenwood belongs to me. Your father's secrets will be mine. Anna stood firm, clutching the ancient book tightly. You won't take what we're meant to protect. This legacy is for Ravenswood, not for personal gain. Marcus smirked and stepped forward, but before he could reach them, a soft glow began to emanate from the artifacts in the chamber. The relics pulsed with light, casting a protective barrier around Anna and Oliver. Suddenly, a whisper filled the room, the voice of Samuel Marlowe, Anna's father, guiding them through the centuries. Protect the balance, my children. Trust the strength within your hearts. Empowered by the ancestral presence, Anna and Oliver faced Marcus with renewed courage. The struggle was not just for a secret or a treasure, but for the soul of Eldenwood itself. As dawn broke over the village, the shadows receded. Marcus was gone, but Anna knew this was only the beginning. The true test of guardianship had just begun, and with her son by her side, she was ready to face whatever lay ahead.